Bring us in, David Dave.
Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? This is Film Hustlers. Rodney is here today.
Who's Rodney? He was put on the spot.
And Mark Roberts. What's up, fellas?
Hey, man. Welcome to a morning edition of Film Hustlers.
There we go.
Yeah, I actually had some berries. Some berries. I had $10 of berries. $10. Berries are expensive, man. Like strawberries and stuff. $10. But isn't it funny how you think about...
Imagine having 3 kids that eat berries.
Dude, that's $30 and probably more, actually. That's expensive. But you know, I was thinking as I was eating the berries and complaining about the $10, I was like, no meal costs $10. So like it was a full... I'm full. Like I ate all these berries, but like if I'm going to like,
Where'd you go? Blueberry, strawberry?
there was both. There was both. There was all 3 of them: blueberries, strawberries, and
Where'd you get
blackberries. At Ralph's. I was starving. But anyway, it is the morning. It's the first time we ever do a morning show. But I wanted to get.
Not the first time. This is like
When did we do a morning show
We
before?
used to do when we were doing the COVID ones from your house.
Oh,
Maybe we went to Marietta's house early in the morning.
Oh, Marietta, we did it in Marietta about the strike. Yeah, dude. There's a few things to talk about. First of all, if you listen to the show, share it with somebody. Lots of episodes to like. If someone's saying like, I want to make a movie for $5,000. Boom, there's an episode. I want to make a movie for $1 million. Boom, there's an episode. I want a lawyer. Boom, there's an episode. I want a casting director. I want to get actors. I want to get named actors for my little teeny movie. All of these things we've covered. So don't be afraid to go back and find them and send them to your friends who want to be filmmakers. And we're here to inspire and to get excited, and also to inspire ourselves. I mean, a lot of the work I've done has been very much inspired by this podcast.
This is completely inspired, I think, all of us.
Well, even like talking to Roberts this morning about some pitches.
Yeah.
And you get inspired and be like, oh man, okay, cool, yeah. This is what's happened. This is what's new. This is what can happen. So.
Well, speaking of getting together, there was a conference that David Dave was hosting.
Yeah.
That the Chicano Hollywood was hosting. Yeah, the Elevate conference where they brought a bunch of Latinos and Chicanos together, right?
Yeah. So it was filled with every aspect of entertainment. It had creators, content creators, social media influencers, actors, directors, producers, writers. Behind the scenes, we even had like Quixote Studios sponsor. So they brought all their equipment out. Big shout out to those guys. They hooked it up. Like everything that was type of equipment was Quixote, so it was really cool.
Ben Bray was there too.
Ben Bray was there. There were so many people there that I did not get a chance to talk to. Half the people, like I was like, damn, they were there. Oh man, damn. Okay, cool. But yeah, we had some great panelists. Emilio was there.
Emilio Rivera, right? From Beautiful Darkness.
From Beautiful Darkness. Yeah, Mendoza. Edward James Olmos was there.
Legend.
Yeah, legend. Louis Gonzalez was there. That was a great panel. It was a fun panel. Lasted about, I want to say like almost 2 hours.
Wow. So keep an eye out for that. That's Chicano Hollywood Elevate Conference. Hopefully they'll be back next year.
Yeah.
Can you see it anywhere? Is it going to be like?
As of now, I think it's going to be on the app. From what I understand, sense. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I do want to give a special shout to Mark Flores. Was the homie that was there.
Congratulations to Chicano Hollywood for doing that. I mean, you wonder if people are going to come out to that kind of thing, and they did.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's an important thing to be doing, and it's awesome that they're doing it. And I'm glad Eddie almost got up there. EJO got up there and did some stuff, and I'm glad Emilio did. Ben Bray was there. A bunch of people that are important to our business and to the Chicano community. So that was awesome.
I was plugging our podcast on stage.
Really?
So we have a podcast panel coming. So if you guys like podcasts, I want you to pull out your phones right now.
That's awesome.
Head to
keep
Spotify.
Doing it. And by the way, if you're listening, rate us. Judge us, review us, whatever you can do to kind of give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Follow us on IG for sure. But yeah, there's a lot of good shows going on. And I was asked as a film hustler, which is kind of cool, to do a masterclass at the Los Angeles City High School for Performing Arts. I got that all wrong. It's called LACHSA, grade 9 through 12. They're connected to Cal State LA. So it's Cal State LA campus, and then you drive on and there's LACHSA. But it was interesting because I spent a lot of time talking to young people. It's weird too, because when you go to a performing arts high school to talk, or to speak rather, you know when you go talk at a high school, when you're asked to speak at a high school like that, you think they're all going to be little kids.
Yeah.
Like I was. I couldn't pay attention to anything when I was in 12th grade or 11th grade. So I went out there and, all these kids are writers, they're actors, they're directors, they're they're producers, they do it all.
Well, that school is really prestigious. It's hard to get it. It's really difficult to get in that school.
Yeah, well, they don't accept many people, but my friend who I went to high school with, Dr. Tina Vartanian, she invited me to do this, right? Because her and I went to high school together, and we've stayed friends all these years. And she's the principal there, and it was just amazing. It was nothing like anything I'd experienced with kids that age. But anyway, I want to thank Tina Vartanian, Dr. Tina Vartanian, for inviting me. It was a lot of fun. One of the things I did at LACHSA, which I found really interesting, is I played some clips of inspirational quotes from Instagram. And, it was interesting. As I was watching them, I was like, oh, wow. This makes you think about stuff and about your career and about how other people do it, especially people that are successful, But there was one in particular that I really found, that I really understood, and it was by Seth Rogen. Just want to play it.
If you don't quit, you might make it. And if you quit, you definitely won't. And honestly, I think after all the years I've seen people make it and not make it, the only common denominator is that. Like, I've seen actors write themselves off, be like, I'm never gonna fucking do this. I've seen people get lucky very random times through random ways. I always think about like Ian McKellen. Like, had you heard of him before he was 65 years old? Like, that guy, I had never fucking heard the words Ian McKellen until he was Magneto in X-Men. Then all of a sudden, he's like in Lord of the Rings. He's one of the most famous people on Earth. He got famous when he's like 60.
That's interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? I mean, what he's saying is kind of what Film Hustlers knows, right? Which is, if you don't give up, you may make it.
Scorsese, to piggyback on that, he says it's not the most talented that make it, it's the most patient that makes it.
Right.
Because you could have all the talent in the world, but if you're not patient in this business, it's not gonna happen.
Well, Dane Cook made it. He has no talent, and it's discouraging sometimes. One thing I related to is like, when I was at LACHSA, I was talking about, that I did sleep on my friend's couch for about 9 months. I wanted to do when I went to do my script, the very first script I ever sold was called Plump Fiction, and we found this writer that was willing to write it. His name was Bob Coher. He's a big TV director now. Did George Lopez, Hannah Montana. Anyway, he's a big director now. But at the time, he was working as a waiter, and he said, "I'll write that. I think that's a great idea. I'll write that, but I need to get paid because I got another job and I can't take time off to finish the script if I don't get paid." So we were like, well, how much do you need? And he was like, $500. So we were like, oh, okay. Well, so I sold my car, a Toyota Corolla, $2,500, gave him $500. And then the group that he was performing with, I put on a play. It was like a comedy sketch show at a theater that I spent the rest of the money on. And I invited people to that sketch show. Like producers and financiers, and just kind of kept it rolling. And then he finished the script, and we sold it to Rhino Records. And that was like the first movie I ever made. I never thought twice about selling my car, which I found very interesting. Like now I would be like depressed.
Yeah.
But back then I was like invigorated by the idea. Like I was so committed that I sold my car and I didn't get paid and I didn't know what was going to happen, but you tried your best, But that's all this guy's saying. He's saying, look, don't write yourself off, keep trying and stay positive. I think you have to tell people what you do. Like, you're not trying to be a producer. You're not trying to be a director. You're not trying to be an actor. You either are or you're not, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that true?
Yes,
You're either
it's
are or
true.
you're not.
Roberts throws that one at me all the time, Dave.
No,
Way back
it's
in the
true,
day.
but it's true. Don't deny yourself. Have the faith, have the trust in yourself, and keep moving forward, even in the face of maybe your family members don't believe it. So I want to say that my wife may not have believed that it was possible for me to become like a producer that made real money doing what he did.
Yeah.
At some point,
Yeah.
I feel like I had to ignore even the idea that someone else thought that I couldn't make it, because if I thought about it too long, I would get really down.
Yeah.
So I had to pretend like none of that mattered. Like no one's opinion about my work or what I did mattered at all, because otherwise I would get really down with the idea like, well, if that person doesn't believe in that person, maybe I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think all creative people at one point in their lives questions what they're doing. You know what I mean? And things like, fuck, maybe I should have went the route of, this or that, or took the safety route, because this isn't a safety route at all.
Dude, the safety route is in and out, $160,000 a year.
165 or UPS 170.
Yeah.
With benefits. But we have a friend that
I
works
don't get
at
paid that for some movies.
No, I have a friend. I know a guy who works at UPS. He gets 3 months vacation paid, great benefits, $170,000 a year. He's been there for 30 years. I don't even think he's 50 yet. He's gonna retire. He could retire anytime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never left his hometown. Married his high school sweetheart.
Okay, we don't want to do that. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but and that's great for him.
Good
you know
for
what
him.
I mean?
But the hustlers aren't going to do that.
No, we're here.
So if you want
the
to
hustlers
be safe,
are here.
If you want to be safe, you can.
Yeah.
But if you want to risk it all for
Yeah.
the glory, then hang in
true.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
now this is Denzel Washington. Let's see what this fool has to say.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So, keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
That's true.
Wow.
I like see you at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's right.
So what's he saying? He's saying, I used this the other day and I was wondering where I got it at. Ease is the enemy of progress.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
That means the easier stuff is, the more you're looking for the easy way in film,
Yeah.
the more you probably won't make as much progress.
Yeah.
You got to take a risk. You
Yeah.
got to be out of your comfort zone. You've got to figure out how to make it, when it's not easy.
Yeah.
I do relate to that because there are directors, there are projects that I've taken on, knowing that it's going to be the hardest thing. I'm going to fire people. I'm going to rehire people. I'm going to scream and cuss their mothers out, that kind of stuff.
I never saw that side of you. I saw you mad one time, and it was like some weird, like you came in and you were pissed off, and you sat there for a minute, and you said, okay. And then you let it go. Like it's some I don't know how.
And you moved on. I moved on. But
most people can't do that. Like when I get pissed, it takes me a minute to calm down. I got right, Davey Dave?
Of course.
This fool was like fucking furious, and he's just like sat there for a minute. He's like, okay.
Yeah,
and it
just
was
moving on.
over.
But it's an interesting quote, and the idea that what did he say? He said
Ease.
No, he said ease is the enemy of progress, but he also said
See, I work.
he said fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Denzel knows what's up.
Yeah.
But definitely, you've got to look at your life and just figure out, am I doing all I can do?
Yeah.
I think the answer always in the past has been I'm definitely not doing all I can do. I think that as it refers to touching base with people and pitching projects, and I think eventually people do have to change the way they're viewed, right? Because I think it's the same, like if you look at an athlete, a star athlete that's not a star yet, and then one Sunday he's playing football for the team on TV and he runs back a 98-yard punt. and you're like, wait, you just start to notice. Or Randy Moss when he came on the scene and he just kept making catch after catch after catch down the field. You change your image of that player changes. He becomes a star in your eyes, and then he consistently keeps delivering, right? And I think filmmaking is the same way. Like when you haven't done anything, you're that star player that you haven't proven yourself yet.
Yeah.
But then you start doing stuff and they're like, oh, wow, that's really good. And then that's really good. And then that's, you consistently start coming up with ideas that are good and selling stuff or helping things get made. Yeah. And then you become looked at in a different light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't
become
give up.
Valuable.
Yeah, you can't give up.
Yeah.
Even if people are looking at you and you get the feeling that they don't trust that you've got what it takes, you got to hang in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You got to keep trying to change people's minds in a way.
Because every project, I feel, there's magic in it. You know what I mean? Like shit. You like you said, you go into thinking like, fuck, how's this gonna work? This script isn't even really prepared yet, and you just get it done. You know what I mean? You look over at Davey Dave and you say, dude, can you follow? Can you script supervise this? And you see his eyes get big because the actor is nowhere near the line on the page, and he's sweating and you're sweating, but you know what? It worked out.
Yeah.
Magic.
Well, it is magic. If you're committed. Denzel was also saying, without commitment, you'll never start. Right. So you got to be committed.
Yeah.
More importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. And our business is about finishing. So you got to be consistent. Right.
Yep.
Which is why we talk about adrenaline in projects, right? If you and your buddy get together and you're all fired up about an idea, but you're not thinking about where it could be sold, you're not thinking about who could be in it, you're not thinking about what network or what streamer might buy it, and you're just adrenaline filled about an idea that you think could work or a piece of it could work, adrenaline gets you into projects that you shouldn't be doing. That's the truth. Adrenaline gets you into projects you should not be doing, because passion is what makes projects great.
Well, I agree, but I kind of disagree, because adrenaline gets the conversation started. Adrenaline gets the idea out there, and you got to be smart enough to know, is that idea viable? Can we? And that just comes with time.
It gets you in trouble, though. But
you have to be sensible. Because I remember before we started this podcast, I would talk about, like we were talking earlier, this water bottle. Let's make a movie, and I would come up with the idea, and you're like, dude, where are you going to sell it? What, and I didn't think about it like that. Now, through the podcast and just doing films, understanding the process, you realize, like, oh shit, this is a business, and this is something that has to be really thought out. Everything has to be thought out, and those questions have to be answered, or you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. So, but I think adrenaline gets you to the point of like, hey, dude, this is a funny idea. What do you think?
Yeah, here's the difference: is that adrenaline is going to show up in a passionate project too. You're not going to have no adrenaline about a passion. You're going to be fired up about a passionate project, and then your passion was going to push you into a year, 2 years, 3 years of the same project until you get it done. When an idea gives you adrenaline over an evening, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, I sort of committed to doing this. Oh yeah, it'll be great. It could still work. And then next thing you know, you're committed to people and you're trying to make it work, or you do it and it's not great, or you do it and the percentage of people that you thought would like it and push it up the ladder somewhere don't. Right. So you just have to decide if your adrenaline is passion or if your adrenaline is just going to stop you, because eventually it won't work. Tom Cruise had a great one. I think a lot of people have heard this.
I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with anything. I basically did it all myself. I didn't have money to go to acting school, so I never went to acting school. I just studied films and started making movies, and I learned on movie sets. I went to every single department, and I studied every part of the movie. I went to the camera department. I studied lenses, lighting, You know, I was working with a great cinematographer, Owen Roisman. I studied what producers do, what writers do, what wardrobe does, what the stunt department does, props, sound. I studied every aspect of films, and that's what I kept doing, you know, because I really...
So that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't go to school. Didn't have any money for that. Didn't go to acting class. Didn't have money for that. Wanted to be like the biggest producer in history.
Which he
Arguably is. Yeah, arguably is one of the best filmmakers of our generation. You can say what you want about Tom Cruise, but people check out his. I love his movies. I love every Mission Impossible.
Well, he backs all his projects. I mean, that's how invested he is.
And he's a smart businessman.
There
Like
you go.
Does he put his own money in this movie? Does he really?
Well, he puts his heart and soul into it, and he plays on the come. So in other words, because he's so rich, he will play that when you make money as a studio, I'll make a big chunk of that money too.
Yeah.
So I've heard that there's, in some cases, he's not getting paid for the movie. He's just putting it all in.
Yeah.
But it's very likely that Paramount won't allow him to do that. You know, they're probably paying him anyway.
Yeah.
But he does have a huge back end, and some of the, like, when you know that his movie is going to make $300, $400, $500 million and $1 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, if you know that, then you're going to break him off.
Yeah. And he commits. He does all his own stunts. He's crazy.
He's in it.
He's one of our best, man. I mean, Top Gun after 20 years was amazing, I thought.
Yeah, but he's also like, you know, you go to like Collateral. He's got chops. He can act too. You know what I mean?
Collateral's
Like,
awesome.
He's terrific, dude. He's amazing.
what was the one, the war movie that he played, the comedy? So funny.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Sudden Thunder or Distant Thunder.
Distant Thunder. That was
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder. Sorry.
Yeah, and he did the prosthetic hands, dude. He was great in that.
Les
Magnolia. Yeah, Les Grossman. Magnolia. He was great in that. Paul Thomas Anderson.
That's true. Oh, yeah,
so that
yeah.
fool has chops. I mean, he can do these action things, but he could also go and act.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
which is great.
he's tremendous. But if you're wondering, can you make it to the very, very top of an industry without going to school, without having the money, without with any of that? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I think Tarantino. He never went to film school.
People do it. Speaking of Tarantino, I got a Tarantino one now.
If you run the 100-yard dash with people that can't run as fast as you, yeah, you'll win. Hands down, you know that. But if you run with people much faster than you, all right, yeah, you might come in last every single time, but your time will be better. Because they're making you run all the faster. They're making you dig down just a little bit more. It doesn't matter that you won. Your time is faster. And that's what I knew I had to do. I had to get out of Loserville and throw myself into a place where, like, this is what the fuckers do for a living.
Yeah, great words, man. That's
Right?
true.
I
That's true.
mean,
Loserville. This is what fuckers do for a living.
at the end of the day, there's two things, right? There is filmmakers that you aspire to be, and there's the filmmaking that you're doing. Because clearly you're not working with the people that you aspire to be, right? If you are, then you're in the right place. But if you're not, then you aspire to be like a filmmaker, and you're working with whoever you can work with. So I think one of the interesting parts about this, and I think we've talked about this a lot around it, but if you have the opportunity to help on a film where a filmmaker is clearly better than you, or raising more money than you, or doing more projects than you, or working with better actors than you, or selling projects like where you want to sell them, they're being seen the way you want yours to be seen, then volunteer.
Yeah.
Volunteer for those people, because then you're in a race, and then you're in a game where you're seeing the pacing that someone who does what you want to do is doing it. And you're like, okay, wow, this is a whole different ball game. Or this isn't how I thought I was doing it, or this isn't how I do it. But, you know, you start incorporating stuff. And I think there's a valid point. Like, you try to work with people who are not yes people to you, but who are going to challenge you creatively. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning. You know, I mean, I think, like, now I'm an old dog at it, so, you know, I don't mind working with Stearns and studios, and, you know, if Mario hates a certain line, or if Christina Milian hates something or likes something or whatever it is. Like I'm much more malleable. I'm flexible now because I think I know the world of putting stories together. So I know like, okay, that's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. That's a working idea. And normally they all have great ideas, and they're also all in it every day, right? So when you're taking your information from these people that you're working with, if they're at a higher level, they're going to be giving you some good stuff to add to your concept, you know? I'm gonna play one more, and then we got to go. But I do want to say, shout out to extrememusic.com. I'm not kidding. Every single day on Meet Me Next Christmas, which is for Netflix, I'm looking through the Extreme Music catalog.
Well, I saw you do it firsthand in New Mexico.
Yeah.
You were sitting there
just
on
listening.
set, listening with the headphones on. You had one earpiece for the dialogue and you had the other earpiece for your laptop listening.
But Extreme Music's got it all, man. And we haven't mentioned this in a long time, but the music that's on there is for everybody, right? So if there's a song that's making $1 million on extrememusic.com because it's been on Sons of Anarchy or it's been on a movie or whatever, it's, you know, some of those songs get really popular. They become like the lead-in song on TV shows, and you can get it for your movie, or you can get it for your TV show. You know, it's not a license. I mean, I'm not sure. I'd have to ask Russ, and I'm going to ask him, but I wonder if you can buy the music and keep it exclusively. I don't see that on there, so I'm not sure if you can, but maybe you can't. Maybe you're doing a TV show and you're like, oh, this song's amazing. I'm going to just keep it, and I don't want anyone else to use it. But that becomes an expensive thing. The whole point of extrememusic.com is they make it affordable for you to not use a composer and still be able to get like top-notch composed music. So shout out to them. And thank you for supporting us.
Yes.
More importantly. All right, cool. This is a cool one because I think manifestation is a really big thing in this biz. The kids, it was funny, all of the kids raised their hands when I asked them if they manifest, you know, and I thought that was
Absolutely.
really interesting.
You can manifest absolutely anything that you want in this life, but you've got to deeply, deeply imagine it, and not just imagine it from the outside looking in. You have to imagine you are there. You have to feel the feeling of where you are, smell the smells, listen to the sounds. You have got to trick your mind and body into believing it is real. It will put an imprint on the universe and it will pull you towards it. That's how manifestation truly works.
Who's that for?
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, that's
Who is it?
Rob Deerdick.
Oh,
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you manifest?
I might not use the word manifest, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Do you?
No, fool, I wouldn't be here if I manifested. What do you think?
Well, I suppose none of us do it very well. But that's manifestation, right? You create the energy around a person or yourself or whatever it is. Anyway, today was all about manifestation, where you're at, what you're doing, how you can challenge yourself. Yeah, I believe in life. I believe that people are good. I believe that you're capable, no matter who you are. So hopefully that's gonna get people fired up. Hit us on the IG. Let us know.
Slide in the DM. Let us know. Let us know what you manifested.
Yeah,
you go.
man. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you next time
Very
on
mellow
Film
episode.
Hustlers.
Thank you.